For the past 2 weeks, we've been getting to know a little bit more about Zandile Khumalo, the farmer, and her business, Neighbour Roots. Today, we take a deep dive into the business side of things, how she operates, the clients she's supplying to, the yields that she's getting in her farm. Without further ado, this is the Farming Podcast, and my name is Mbali Nwoko. Zandile, thank you so much for welcoming us back again to your farm, Neighbour Roots. Today, we just want to learn a little bit more around the business side of farming. What type of clients are you supplying right here at Neighbour Roots?
Welcome, Mbali.
Thank you.
And on our clients, the clients that we supply here at Neighbour Roots, because the farm is on the rooftop of the shopping center, it's all the restaurants that are in the shopping center. Restaurants like your Signature, your Hassa Grill, your Tashes, and also Pomodoro. So we're also trying to get your retail stores, your Pick and Pay and your refillery on board so that we can be able to supply to them even further.
Wow. You know, restaurants are open till late. Does that mean you harvest till late as well?
Harvesting, it does become late. Like I did say on the previous episode, is that restaurants are a little bit finicky. So the core of our business, they ran with it, and the value proposition that we kept on running with it is to say that we harvest the day you order. Okay. So when an order comes, we harvest that time, because the mandate is to keep it fresh with a longer shelf life, and the shelf life starts with the restaurant's fridges. So that's where our core value proposition is. So when the restaurant orders at 6, we start harvesting at 6.
Who do you deal with within your clients? Do you mostly deal with the buyers of sourcing the fresh produce, or do you have conversations with the chefs, which I'm sure is quite interesting?
So it's a little bit of two, because when you arrive at a business, you just can't go straight to the chef. You have to know who started the business, why, get to understand their basically idea behind their business, so that you can start being able to infuse. So farmers are a part of the value chain and making, because at the end, you're the one who's supposed to produce this beautiful thing that when the restaurant or the restaurant owner receives it, and they just glow in their eyes and they feel happy to say, I want you to supply me. So you first start speaking to the restaurant owner. From there on, you go to the chef, because who cooks the food? How do they cook them? That relationship has to be understood, because some other chefs do not understand how to handle the food so that it can be preserved longer. Who knows that? The farmers. Yeah. So we get to educate them to say, okay, we harvest it like this, we grow it in this way. Leafy greens are delicate. Let's try to understand how you store it. For example, your fridge is too high, leafy greens can't take that. So I do go inside in depth before I go and say, here's your produce, because at the end, I want that value chain to be perfect.
Wow. I think some of the advantages, as you're talking, I'm just thinking that some of the advantages of farming in the rooftop and directly supplying to your customers downstairs is that you cut costs around distribution as well as cold storage. So each time you harvest, do you first get an order and immediately harvest and then take it downstairs? Or do you have a cold storage of your own where you harvest and you keep the food or the fresh produce in the cold room?
At this current moment, I have no cold storage. So my core business is harvesting at the time it is ordered. So an order comes in, then I harvest, then I take it downstairs. Then they be able to refrigerate some, start using it, and then that's how I keep my value chain to be short. So distribution cost is 0 for me, because I don't travel to go and deliver them to other clients. So everything I do, if I'm delivering in the restaurants downstairs, it's just 0. It's just walking down.
You said you harvest per order. Does that mean you operate 7 days a week? Because restaurants are typically open 7 days a week.
Hydroponics, you have to be 7 days a week at the farm. It's a lifestyle. It's a part of you. You have to put it and infuse it within your daily schedule. You know, if it's a Sunday, you want to relax, start at the farm. That is my advice to youngsters. Start at the farm before you start deciding I'm going to go to the church, I'm going to go to church, I'm going to chill. Start at the farm there. Make sure your clients are happy. Make sure your orders are done, because it's your business, it's your baby. So 7 days a week, I am at the farm, taking my orders, making sure everything is scheduled properly. You always have to also plan for tomorrow. Your next day is important so that you understand what's going to happen. Some other clients do put in orders early, and I get to be happy. That's when I'm like, I know how my tomorrow is. But you know, sometimes an event can just come up on a restaurant where they book in the morning, and then they call you in the afternoon and say, we're booked in for tonight, 27 guests, we need so much of baby spinach. And you have to get it there with the right timing, because they need to start cooking. So once you start understanding also the value chain of where your product goes, it creates that little bit of great relationships and networks with your restaurant. So that's basically processes that I take in space to say, I make that space of time to say, they might call.
Yeah. What are some of the yields, Zandile, that you're getting out from your farm? You know, maybe you could give us an example with the spring onion that you grow or the lettuce that you grow. How many kilograms are you supplying on a daily or weekly basis?
So it's quite a bit difficult for me to be able to answer exactly that question, because with the restaurants, they will be able to tell me basically on how their demand is going to be looking like. Like I said, there will be an order that comes and says 27 guests or 100 guests, then they'll be the one that knows. The chef knows how much they're supposed to be needing. So they will call me to say, I need 2 kgs of lettuce or 4 kgs of lettuce or however amount of kgs of lettuce. But normally you have that consistent that always happens all the time. That's how then you can have that as a baseline when you're working with restaurants. Like with my farm on lettuce, I take out about 400 heads of lettuce. I know on a weekly basis I'm supposed to be taking out 400 heads of lettuce to make sure that my whole production is a month. So I become consistent, and on a weekly basis there is lettuce in my farm. You must know your limitations as a farmer also, that I can only take out 400 heads, I can't take out more. So it helps you not to overpromise to your clients to say, I can give you 100 kgs every week, but you can't, you know. And that's why if you're a small scale farmer, I decided to focus on restaurants, of which they take in small quantities of produce. Unlike bulk pick and pay distribution points, at this current moment, I can't supply them. But with expansion, I will be able to supply them. So you must know your limits as a farmer, and that will also help you to assist to manage your business better, to understand your business better, and also not be in the stigma of small scale farmers are not consistent.
Yeah, not consistent and not reliable.
Yes, that's what they normally say. And it all goes back to the scheduling of the farmer.
Absolutely. You said you harvest or sell per kilogram. Are you a price taker at this stage or a price maker?
I'm a price maker. I'm a price maker, but we all know as farmers it goes to how you negotiate with your clients, because at the end you need to win the client for a longer relationship. So how they sell, it also helps you. That's why I end up saying sit down with the restaurant owner, understand how much are they willing to pay for vegetables. Then you go to your drawing board. Is it okay to sell for this price? Is it making business sense? Is it making finance sense for me? And if everything adds up, then it's a yes. If it doesn't add up, you must be able to say no, because at the end you're a business and you have to be sustainable and it has to make profit for you. So be able to weigh out your options when it comes to how you price things.
Absolutely. You said you're here 7 days a week, you don't rest. I find that impossible. Like, how many people are you employing, and are you getting extra hands, or does your business partner also help you with the operations?
I have 2 employees. It's not that I don't rest, but I have 2 employees. So what we do on our farm, we get some little bit of interns or graduates from people, from NPCs or NGOs that are able to say, can you give our youngsters exposure? So we are able to bring them in, youngsters learn. So those are the people that I'll be able to call them my staff. I do have a person that I work with, my operations and technical manager. So So both of us were able to share the responsibilities for now, because the farms are still small and the operations are not that quite big or massive, like a hectare or so. So we are able to mitigate the responsibilities between the two of us. Scheduling, you may be able to rest with your schedule, because with people, it helps you to also focus on your business, be able to see what your clients need, how the markets are moving, because you also need to be an economist, when you're a farmer. Yeah. So you need to also check out how things are working around the world, how technology is changing, what better ways can you farm, and what better crops can you be able to farm.
Yeah, I like the fact that you're using a collaborative approach, right, to grow yourself as a farmer. Are you working with scientists, agronomists in your operations? Are there technical people that are coming maybe week in, week out to give you some sort of technical advice to reach the yields that you wish to reach?
Yes, I do work with agronomists. I do work with doctors that come to my farm and be able to give me advices. Basically, with seeds, I work with the people, with companies. They have doctors in there where I would say, okay, I'm trying out this crop, or I'm planting this crop, this plant is giving X problems, can you please advise me on this crop? And I do invest in myself to be able to get that network around me, because as a farmer, you can't make it alone. You won't be able to make it alone in the farming industry or in any business. So you need those experts, advisors, people who have gone through that path, people who have seen before you, because certain challenges that you face, some other people have faced them and some other people have found better solutions to be able to get through them. So it also helps you to be able to understand, for you not to be able to face the challenge ever again. So I do work with doctors, I do work with agronomists, I do work with other farm owners, of which I do go to their farms and be able to volunteer for a day or two, learn different techniques, learn how different other crops grow and the yielding side of things, and then you come back into your farm and you grow yourself from that information.
Yeah, this is amazing, Zandile. I'm just so happy to hear your journey and how you've grown your business and all the milestones that you've reached in such a short space of time. And I like the fact that you've talked about expansion. We're right here on the roof. Your farm is just at the back end right here, and we've still got more space. So are you planning to expand into more tunnels right here on the roof? Or would you be looking to put more tunnels in a plot somewhere, farming directly on the land?
So here at the farm, I'm expanding my business. As I said, the whole entire rooftop is the first pilot stage to actually check and prove that the model of farming on top of shopping center roofs is working. So once we filled up this rooftop and made it green, a beautiful garden on the roof, therefore we'll be able to move the model into different sections of any shopping centers. My aim is to make the concrete jungle green, and basically I'm hoping to reach that aim, that goal. Yeah.
Well, upwards and onwards for Neighbour Roots.
Yes.
All the best of luck with your succession planning and expanding, and we hope to visit you once again once you've expanded right here at Neighbour Roots.
Yes, for sure. I will be able to invite you to come see how everything grows here.
Thank you, Zandile.
Thank you very much.
Well, you heard it directly from the farmer herself, Zandile. I can definitely say she's an innovative farmer, one that is forward-thinking, future-thinking, and is definitely creating employment for young people who are looking to grow in the agri-sector. Join us in the final installment of this episode series with Zandile Khumalo, owner of Neighbour Roots, where we'll tap into the hydroponic production, farming in rooftops, the costs involved in setting up such productions, and where her goal around the industry looks like. Thank you so much for joining the Private Property Farming Podcast. My name is Zandile Khumalo. Catch us in the next episode. Happy harvesting.